Go ahead and clear the space. Call on our team in spirit, Harmonic self to be with us. If you're new here, welcome in. If you're returning, or if you're returning, I thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for holding love in your heart, reverence for God, respect to others as well as yourself, and self-sovereignty, right? Because that's your natural state of loving others as yourself. So through doing this, you need no approval, no self-esteem issues or self-worth issues. We come into question what is love equally, right? What is love? What is pure? What is holy? Going from that, we're going to go ahead and get right on into the channel message, which was talking about what's your inner guru? What is your sacred medicine that you're here to help bring to the world? Now, of course, as always, when I channel messages, I honestly always look into them myself. I have looked into a lot of different modalities of things to do. I don't always do them, but I do always look into them. Sometimes I journal about them. A lot of times, because I'm into a lot of different things. So for me, it's easy for me to go from like one topic to the next. So I'm going to try to keep it as close as I can to what was wanted to be the message, and help get the message out as much as possible. Now, I realize sometimes I'll start a message and almost seems like it's backwards, but it's not. How I hear the message in the different perspectives, how Spirit wants me to hear it. Again, I'm not perfect. I do sometimes I feel things before I actually get or I see them visually before I actually get the auditory message. So, a perfect example is I was at work the other night, and they were like, he was like, did they show you how to close up? Well, no, because I normally work during the day. But it was funny because I do the things to close up at the beginning of the shift normally when I come in, even though I hadn't learned that was what I was supposed to do. Simple things like that. So, however the energy sits through your life, take it, flip it, reverse it if you need to. This is just how Spirit has me see, hear, and feel it so that I can get it to you and help you in return find this message within yourself or help it resonate, maybe even help you to see a situation in your life in a different perspective. But right now, they want to talk about purpose, which is like purpose, which is your sacred medicine. Okay, so this is also, when you talk about that, it's like kind of like that saying that God says He declares plans for you to prosper, not to harm you, right? Plans to give you hope and a future, right? So this is embracing all aspects of the expression of your soul within unconditional love, being one with the universal love of humanity and harmony. Okay, so what's your spiritual ID? What's your spiritual ID? Is what they're saying. What is the intelligent blueprint that activates the divine purpose within you, and how can you use that to help other people? Let's get you some clarity. Let's start out with clarity. Be clear and commit to a life of service if it's however that service looks for you, right? How can you embrace these aspects to do that? Living in our purpose helps us create joy, peace, fulfillment, even when you're faced with adversity, receiving directly, knowing we are responsible for knowing and co-creating with Spirit, right? We don't control anything, but we are responsible for how we show up, right? So superimposing your will is to be avoided, right? Gossiping about other people's life situations that you're not 1,000% for sure about is to be avoided, which kind of is counterintuitive, because I sit here and I pull cards and I talk about, what can we do to fix these situations? How can we turn this around? How can you protect yourself from this? I got a channel message about this. I was sitting here talking to my daughter tonight, and it was so funny because she was telling me, I kind of talk in my sleep a little bit. And I was like, huh. And then she was like, you were having a whole conversation. And I was like, well, I was probably having a conversation in my sleep, right? And I was like, I get a lot of the messages that I get in my sleep. And sometimes I don't understand. I'm like, I'll be like, it will literally just be a voice, sometimes a man or woman, and it says, and this is the tattoo, you know what I mean? Look for this tattoo or this car, or this number, this whatever this sign is that they want me to look for to be able to get the message. And I'm like, I can't. I mean, what? You know what I mean? And I was trying to explain it to her. And then I literally, right after that, I seen this guy talking about signs for spirit and how, like, the water moving and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, that happens to me. And it's almost like that. So the point of this isn't to say anything about any of that. It is literally about spirit wanting to get your attention about certain things going on in your life, right? I mean, you can read the signs and synchronicities, look into the riddles, or maybe they're exactly how they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? Because it all comes different, right? But the point is for you to see if you have things like these. Now, I know, like, sometimes even I feel like I sound crazy. Like, where do I get this stuff? Where does it come from? Why does it happen, right? And those are, like, sometimes you can get stuck in that questioning. You can get stuck in, things like that. That is people stopping you. You're almost stopping yourself. You're imposing that stop on yourself when you just do that. Because I always want to know why, for some reason. But, pushing forward through that, when you just hear people, gossiping about your situation or things, because we all know the things that have happened to us that have or that have not, or things that people try to impose on us, right? So sitting there in that energy and not allowing those things that happened to be used as medicine for our life, right? Not letting them be used as medicine for our life helps push us forward. I think I said it right. Letting that be used as medicine for our life to help push us forward. Yeah, I came that right. So, and also helping that those things, those patterns that we used to do, right? Whether it's anything, right? Because reality, or actually something that isn't co-conspirated by a person. So something that people are trying to facilitate in your life isn't of the spiritual realm. Like, there's spiritual court and then there's regular court, right? In the spirit, they know exactly what you did to get where you are, right? In the spirit, not what Joe Blow Schmo down the street said, right? In the spirit, the Most High God, the angels know. They knew your intent. They knew if you meant to do it. They knew how you felt. They knew how you felt afterwards. They knew if you were in a situation you had no idea what was going on, but if you were going to get blamed, and they knew that when you got blamed that you were going to get take accountability for it, and they knew that when you were in that situation or taking accountability, that they were going to help lift the ease of that pain of you going through that time, right? I hope I'm explaining this right, but literally I just heard fear is poison. So with all these things, and I know that I'm on like a broad scale of people who are on their spiritual journey, people that are just fresh out in this situation. And that's what I'm trying to hit on that. And other people that are like way far out, they're already getting, they're already starting to break patterns, or in the middle of breaking patterns, or have broken so many patterns, like being raised up in a family that barely had anything, or the single mom family, and they're already, breaking out of that, or breaking out of thinking that after seeing, neglected families and those type of parental units staying together and breaking out of that construct, or the breaking of addictions. We all are assigned certain ones of these to break in our life, and you can tell which ones are the hardest because it's like you sit in that space with them. And I know, I feel like I'm getting off topic here, but and I haven't pulled any cards to give you guys clarifiers, but this is just how the message is going in. Okay, so patterns can repeat through the universe if you haven't, spiritually, if you haven't learned the lesson. If you have learned the lesson, and people keep trying to teach you the lesson, it's like that pattern will be reflected onto them in a certain way, right? Because we're all here to break those patterns. That's part of our purpose, is to break the generational patterns and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's happening for you, not to you. If somebody knows your business and you didn't tell it to them, and they're not up here doing like this on YouTube, right? This isn't their job, this isn't what they do, or part of what they do. That's their pattern that they're in, right? Because if you're around me, I'm usually celebrating people going through patterns, going through cycles, getting, especially if I knew them from before. Now, spirit will, for me, if I'm not listening to what they're saying and see, like if I have the dream and I'm like denying it in some kind of way, like no, this person wouldn't do that. No, this, you know what I mean? They will continue to help me, like they'll almost like take me to the right route, to the right bit of information, because I like to always, I always say cupcakes and roses, everything is going to be fine, whatever it is, it's going to be fine, it's going to work out. So sometimes I try, I'm not going to say I try to be oblivious to the really bad things, but it's like spirit will be like, okay, now look, this person did X, Y, and Z and X, Y, and you know what I mean? Just to get me alerted to it. Now, again, that could be that person's cycle or pattern in their life that they're trying to help them work through. You know what I mean? As with other people around you, you kind of understand what I'm saying? And this is how the spiritual world works. They want everybody to be in a cohesive flow, not moving apart. We're one in the universe. So finding your sacred medicine is about letting go and surrender and forgiveness, and helping you attract in somebody. Like if you're a giving person, right? If you're giving, if you're loving, you'd like to set boundaries, you'd like to do this, trying to bring you in that same type of person. Oh my gosh, I just got chills, and like that, I can't even explain it. Okay, so that loving type person that can match your energy, not just and this person, like I always say, these are these relationships that have nothing to do with how much money you have. They have nothing to do with how you look. They have nothing to do with what you've done in your past, as long as you're honest about it, right? And you've worked through those things. Because like I said, when I work through something in my past, literally, it's like the Holy Spirit takes it away, because you can use anxiety for things as fuel to keep you going on your purpose. So what is your sacred medicine, guys? This is basically what all I'm asking you guys to do, is to get rid of poison in your life. And what are those poisons, right? What are those poisons? Are they drinking, drugging, I can tell you one right now, that this game that I have, I know it sounds so menial, but I promise you, if there was an addiction going on in my life, that was it. Okay. And it's funny. It's funny. It makes me laugh because I'm just like, well, if that's all that you got that you're doing, and besides the fact that I feel like I'm kind of pushing my kids a little much, to get my daughter to keep her room clean. So I'm trying to give her, leeway and time, and not just be like, okay, no, we got to eat, right? So I can admit, things that are going on in my life that aren't the greatest. It happens, right? It happens to all of us. But it's like that law of inspired action, right? Taking action in order to bring what you want into fruition that's vibrationally aligned with you, right? Kind of like what we talk about when I probably should do one or share one for you guys, the vision boards. Vision boards are excellent. Like, it's like you're manifesting, especially if you are you don't even have to be a good drawer, but if you can draw, like, just sit down, meditate a moment, if you need to clear the space or put on just some meditative mindset music, right? And just whatever comes out, right? Whatever comes out drawing, whatever comes out writing, whatever it is, and see what kind of message you can get out of that. Because a lot of times for me, when I do that, these are things to come. These are things to come. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that's how it's going to be for you, but it's like, it's part of the way that the Holy Spirit works through you can be for some people like that, right? Just giving, things. And that's also how you choose to embody and celebrate your higher self and your sacred divinity even more, right? So, guys, is there anything that you consider your sacred medicine? Are you exceptionally good at customer service? Are you a good friend? Could you help people be better friends? Could you help people be better parents, right? Could you, excuse me, could you help people be better partners, or take care of animals, or do something like this? Do you have something on your mind that you think would that you could use a platform to help people, right? Speaking. And I'm still shuffling and not still pull one card. I apologize for about that, guys. It's just kind of sitting up there on a regular screen here. But for real, guys, if you haven't thought about this in your life, like, what could you do to make a difference in your own life, in your family's life, in your community's life? And it's like, it's time to decide, right? Based on your heart's truest desires. I'm not saying you can't just work, at McDonald's or whatever. Every single job on this universe, you're here and you can brighten somebody's day. And just by doing that, the universe sees that as a reflection of the love that you have inside of you being projected out in a good way, right? So what can you make possible in your life to do these things, right? With the freedom, like speaking, nutrition, music. Can you make music, write rhymes, write lyrics, build houses? Will that help you get the sense of accomplishment, right? You're housing families. That's amazing, right? Just loving your friends and family, literally, if you can hype up your friends or your family and show them how much you love them each day, while also guiding them with love in your heart, right? So don't just think this is about anything. I mean, all these little small things, every little small step that you change in your life helps literally change the world. I know that sounds so cliche, but I promise you that it's true, right? Because when, people start catching on to that, people start catching on to the good, because your medicine isn't bad medicine, right? It's good medicine. Your sacred divinity is good. That's what you're here to bring forth to the world. That's what God given. It's what God gave you to do. Some people have multiple ways of sacred medicine in them, right? Working with children, being an artist, like I said, or an author, right? Helping, teaching, loving, healing, letting go with integrity, right? With integrity, having strength, right? Helping people study, even tattoo artists, right? You're helping somebody reach that alternate state or that altered, that body modification, right? Even physical therapy, energy healing, exercise training. I mean, all these things that you could do. So it literally is just asking you what you think. You know, talk to your angels about it. You're on the, just asking yourself these questions. You're on the right path, right? But asking the questions is only half the answer, right? That's only half the answer. If you have to write, if you have to manifest it, use your creative expression to bring it in. Go to school if you need to, or get some type of mentor, or even volunteer to do certain things, like to be closer to animals. If you're called towards helping elderly or children, you can volunteer for that. Um, there's so many different things. There's infinite possibilities in the universe. So know that you're fully supported, and there's enough to provide for everybody. There is enough of everything to provide for everything. It's not like God's going to say, okay, it's time for you to decide what you want to do. Let's go through these options. But you only have 2 or 3 options that you can do. If you're willing to put in the work, God will absolutely co-sign for you, right? The ethers. That is your spiritual contract with the ethers, is your spiritual medicine. All right. I'm sorry I didn't pull any cards. I just went and the message was coming just as it was. So I'm going to leave that right there at that. If you haven't been told today, you're beautiful. I love you. I hope everything is going wonderful in your life right now. See you later. Bye.